gameplay, so this stuff is legit endgame content, and with the game coming out so soon, I thought that I'd walk you through some of what we're seeing here and also some of the other stuff that endgame will offer. A big thanks to 2K for sponsoring this video too. They let me play and record this over at Gamescom, and if you want to check out the game for yourself, there's a link down in the description below. So then, endgame. As with many of these looter shooter types, the question that everyone loves to ask before the game is even out is, what is the end game content? What's the challenge? And I think that it's a fair question because ultimately, once you've blasted through all of the main missions and side missions at launch, what is going to keep you coming back again and again until some new content drops? Well, one of the things in the case of Borderlands 3 is the proving grounds, and that's what you're seeing here. The gist of it is as follows. It all starts with these guys, the Iridians, who are this mysterious ancient alien race, and as you play through the game you'll find secret Iridian writing on the wall, and when you decipher it, this will give you coordinates to planets and locations, and if you head to those locations you'll be able to accept a mission and initiate a round of proving grounds. So these are themed gauntlets which pit you as a solo player or in co-op against the clock and against swarms of enemies, and at the end of these gauntlets are a chest and your chance to get some of the best possible loot in the game. But it won't be easy, and everything scales dependent on your level and stats. It will never be a walkover. You might notice too all of the objectives on the right hand side there. The main one is quite simple, just kill everything within a 30-minute time limit. Easy peasy, but there are additionals on there too, such as don't die, or kill the boss within a certain amount of time, even to find and eliminate fallen guardians that roam the area. What's the point of those? Well, the more optional objectives that you complete, the higher chance you have to get better loot in the chest at the end. You may also get access to anointed gear in this mode too, and these are items with special attributes that coincide with player skills, and there are insane perks on these guns, and as the endgame challenge increases, anointed gear becomes super duper important. On a more technical level though, each go of Proving Grounds is in 3 sections and capped off with a big boss fight. And it's all themed with different creatures, armies and enemies in the game, sometimes remixed a little bit too, so that the combat is kind of randomized. Every time is a bit different. You can go in prepared to a certain degree, but you'll have to stay on your toes to succeed. Now a lot of solo players will see this and ask, is this actually viable in solo, or will I have to play in co-op to complete this and get decent rewards? Well, Gearbox have said that it is indeed viable for those lone wolf solo players, which is great, and it also gives players the opportunity to pick armies that they really like fighting against in certain proving grounds, and at launch there will be 6 different proving grounds scattered throughout the game in total. I only played one round of this and I had a blast. I think it's the kind of thing where, let's say you've only got 20 or 30 minutes to play the game before you've got to go out for a meal or whatever. You jump in, do one of these, get the rewards and get out. On the flip side, of course, you'll get groups who will absolutely just hardcore these over and over, coming up with the most efficient strategies, what team composition works best, what skill trees work well together to get these done as quickly as possible, and just keep grinding and grinding and grinding them until they get the best loot possible. It's got that addictive quality to it for sure. So aside from that, Gearbox have also announced a couple of other endgame activities recently. The Circle of Slaughter is one of those, and this is commentated by the infamous Mr. Talk. And it's basically 5 rounds with multiple waves of enemies coming at you, and a chance for you to really test your skills, again with bonus objectives too, like killing with melee attacks, ground slams or explosions. Kind of similar to Proving Grounds I suppose, but in a more condensed quickfire package. Aside from that, Guardian rank is a thing too, and they say that this is similar to Badass rank from the last game, and it will unlock when you beat the game. And as your XP goes up, you will get tokens that you can spend on unique trees and stats that, get this, will go up infinitely. Your stats will just keep climbing and climbing, and you'll get access to stuff like unique perks and player skins as you progress. And finally, at PAX West recently, Mayhem mode was announced, and this is said to be the end game bread and butter of Borderlands 3. And with this you can choose between Mayhem level 1, 2 and 3, with a more difficult challenge, monsters and enemies that will grant you better XP and rewards. However, in Mayhem mode, the stats on enemies change and they take on new attributes, so you won't know what to expect. They might be immune to fire, to corrosives, and that can change the gameplay completely. Interestingly, a little tidbit for you before we wrap up. Also at PAX, Gearbox said that in June of this year, they had 2 million unique logins for Borderlands 2, and they used that data originally to decipher what kept those players coming back. And it's that constant replayability, keeping you on your toes, scaling and always presenting a challenge with a decent reward. For now though, it seems like Borderlands 3 has got plenty for players to do in endgame before the first big events and DLC drop, and I'm definitely looking forward to playing the final release when it's out soon. With that said, I'm going to leave it there guys. Once again, a massive thanks to 2K for sponsoring this video, and there's a link below if you want to learn more